Here are 5 episodes that show exactly why Quagmire might be Family Guy's worst character. And somehow, number 5 is the most restrained. Titled Quagmire's Dad. This is as calm as things ever get in Quagmire's world. We meet his dad for the first time when he visits to attend a naval ball, where he's being honored for his service in Vietnam. His entrance is, to put it mildly, flamboyant. Dancing down the stairs to these boots are made for walking. Peter and Joe quickly start texting each other about their theories on Lieutenant Dan's sexuality. What gave them that idea, I wonder? So, Quagmire invites Peter and Lois to the ball, which they agree to, but not before Peter suggests to Quagmire that his dad might be gay. Quagmire doesn't buy it. In fairness, it's hard to see something you don't want to admit. He lashes out at Peter, even insulting his deceased father's alcoholism as a defense. Chill, Quagmire. A string of innuendos at the naval ball. Yes, I know I've said ball a lot. Gets Quagmire thinking maybe Peter isn't wrong. I can't tell you how many loads your dad took when I served with him, someone says. Yikes. So Quagmire asks Dan directly if he's gay. Dan says, wait for it, no. Oh, hold on, I should have let that scene finish. He's not gay. He's planning gender reassignment surgery. Quagmire actually wishes he was gay at that point. As Quagmire tries to understand how his dad is becoming Ida, he seeks support from Peter and Lois. Odd choice, considering their track record with compassion. Instead, Peter volunteers to go with him to the surgery. Have fun at the circus, says classy Lois, that, let's be honest, in 2024, not a single one of these characters comes out of this looking good. When the day comes for Dan to become Ida, everyone is awkward, pauses, uncomfortable convos, Peter asking if she misses her. You know, Ida tries to explain her transition, but honestly, she'd get more understanding from a brick wall. Quagmire finally explodes, admitting he's struggling with the idea of his dad becoming his mom, or his dad, or something else. It's a lot, but inventing his own pain, he completely dismisses the pain she's been through. So now you're happy, and I'm miserable, he says. Realizing how much she's hurt her son, Ida leaves to stay at a hotel and drinks at the bar, where she meets Brian. Yeah, you know where this is going. Buckle up. Dog meets woman at a bar. Dog doesn't realize she's his enemy's newly transitioned parent. They flirt. They hook up. The next morning, Brian proudly tells Peter and Lois about the woman he met at the Marriott, complete with photos. When they don't give him the praise he's looking for, he goes to Stewie. As they chat, Stewie tells Brian that Quagmire's dad transitioned while he was gone. Jokes fly until Stewie says the new name, Ida. Brian proceeds to vomit everything. And I mean everything. But the trauma doesn't stop. Later, Ida tells Quagmire about her night with Brian. Upon hearing this, Quagmire storms into the Griffin house, not to talk, but to destroy. He mercilessly beats Brian into the floor, even though the dog had no idea. But Brian gets the last word, your dad. Coming in at number 4 is Quagmire's mom. And no, this isn't a repeat. This is the other mom. Apparently, Quagmire's worst moments often involve his family. It begins when Peter learns his real name is Justin while applying for a bank account. Instead of shrugging it off, Peter adopts a whole new persona. Justin becomes a full-on frat bro and throws a massive house party. Had Peter never discovered this, Quagmire might never have met his new flavor of the week. Enter Kira. She brought 4 Luke Sierra Nadas, or whatever. Let's be real, Quagmire didn't need Peter's help to find a woman. And no, not in a held-back kind of way. She's underage. Maybe you could argue Quagmire was misled. But any sympathy goes out the window when the police arrive after an anonymous tip. When asked if he slept with her, he responds, I don't want to go to jail, but I really want to take credit. How is this only number 4? It gets worse. He sends Joe pictures of them together as evidence. Joe now has all he needs to arrest him. Not only is Quagmire forced to inform his neighbors that he's a sex offender, but he also faces a court trial. Despite the underage factor, Peter and the guys stand up to defend him. Not convincingly, mind you. When things look hopeless, Quagmire takes the stand and plays the victim, claiming his promiscuity comes from a troubled upbringing. His example? A mother just like him. A sexual deviant. Could you put it back so I can push him out again? She jokes. You know what? I'll give him that one. But just as the judge sentences him to 20 years, his mom shows up, says she's found God, and begs to take him under her care. The judge isn't convinced. As Quagmire stands outside the prison, it looks like justice has finally caught up. But of course, his mom returns with DNA evidence of all things, and he's magically off the hook. How convenient. So again, Quagmire avoids any consequence for his actions. Even sleeping with a high schooler doesn't do it. Fantastic. You'd think this couldn't get worse. Yet here we are. Number 3 is Meg and Quagmire. It's Meg's surprise 18th birthday, and only her family shows up. Honestly, that's 5 more people than she expected. Peter even had to be paid to attend. Things escalate when a guest arrives who wasn't invited or bribed. Quagmire. He immediately sees this as a milestone in a young girl's life. And yes, that's as gross as it sounds. He starts inching his pinky toward somewhere it shouldn't be. Sharing pilot stories, he manages to impress Meg while creeping out Peter and Brian. Hot shots. Lois on the wrong side of history. Coming in at number 4 is proof that Lois will always stand on the wrong side of history in an episode that creepily predicted the future. Hot shots. Before we jump into Lois's terrible decision-making, let's take a look at Peter's. Everyone knows how the Joker deals with a bat problem, but Peter's method, well, let's just say it's even more chaotic than the villain's. Surprisingly, his gun on a toy copter doesn't work, so he takes out a tennis racket and goes on a path of destruction, accidentally hitting Stewie in the process. Bat 1, Stewie 0. When they get Stewie checked out of the hospital, Dr. Hartman reveals that Stewie never had his childhood vaccinations. But hey, mistakes can be fixed, and this is totally something they're going to fix, right? To their credit, like the good parents they can be, Peter and Lois first read up on the side effects of vaccinations. But this results in them finding an article suggesting a link between autism and vaccinations. You're probably wondering who this trusted information came from. None other than world-renowned. Wait, am I reading this right? Former Playboy bunny. Ought to be good. But choosing not to vaccinate isn't enough, as they go about convincing every other parent to do the same through anti-vax rallies at the park and even a harmful PSA. Vaccinations cause autism, paralysis, and even death. The parents manage to convince most of the town against vaccinating their babies. And wouldn't you know it, a measles outbreak in Stewie's daycare leads to Quahog being placed in a town-wide lockdown. Is anyone else getting intense 2021 flashbacks right about now? Surprise, surprise. Lois has a change of... But remember how I mentioned the Joker earlier? Yeah. So Peter may not have dealt with a bat like Heath Ledger did, but he did destroy the hospital containing the town's last vaccines, just like him. Peter gets a taste of his own medicine. Not literal medicine, but he does get the measles when Rupert gets sick too. Don't ask about the logistics of that one. It's too complicated to explain. Stewie runs away from home, worrying that he's next on the list, but there's still the issue of the lockdown that's putting a stop to his plan of leaving Quahog. Like he's the king of the monkey bars, Stewie swings under the bridge, trying to cross the river, but an upside-down train forces him to lose his grip. Again, please don't ask me to explain the logistics. I have tried, I do not know. Lois can only watch on in fear as Stewie plummets towards the river. But luck is on her side as Stewie is swept up into the arms of a skydiving Sean Penn boy. This episode really has it all. The Oscar winner was in the right place at the right time, delivering vaccinations to Quahog. And even though he saved Stewie's life, Lois still has the audacity to not thank him because he once played a homosexual. He offers her the vaccines and calls her out for her original stance on the health crisis. Right, just what I needed, a lecture from liberal Hollywood. It's called Gratitude, Lois. Try it sometime. As the episode wraps up with quarantine lifted and everyone's safe, Lois... Wait, what was that? Only 150 people died, but not anyone we knew personally. Everyone wasn't safe. Well, that's fantastic, Lois. Your rallies and lies and inability to understand science only cost 150 people their lives, as long as you didn't know them personally, right? Deals with a bat problem, but Peter's method. Want a part 2? If you made it this far, congrats. Leave a comment if you want to follow up. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling brave, check out the video on Lois's worst moments next.